What if MTV's biggest breakout star turned down the lead role in Encino Man, and the filmmakers rewrote the script just to keep him? What if Ben Stiller almost played the caveman? A Terminator cameo nearly got deleted, and even the cast and crew believed the whole thing might flop. The story of Encino Man is wilder than anything on screen. This bizarre little comedy launched one of the biggest stars of the 90s, grossed 6 times its budget, and even inspired a fan theory so dark it changes how you see the film. These are the top 10 weirdest Encino Man facts you never knew. Number 10. The role that launched a rewrite. Picture this. It's 1991, and Disney wants Pauly Shore, MTV's Weasel and one of the hottest comedic personalities of the era, to play the frozen caveman. But Shore flat out refused. Cavemen don't talk, and if he couldn't use his rapid-fire comedy style and MTV-honed personality, the part would waste his greatest strength. Most studios would have moved on, but the filmmakers made a bold move. They created an entirely new character, Stoney, the laid-back surfer-philosopher sidekick, specifically for Shore. It's one of the rare cases where an actor's rejection reshaped the entire film. Shore's gamble paid off. Stoney became the comedic heart of Encino Man and turned him into a movie star. But who would play the caveman now?
I think he was saying he likes your cones.
Number 9. Ben Stiller's lost audition. Before Brendan Fraser ever stepped into the role, dozens of actors auditioned to play Link. One of them, Ben Stiller. His audition tape has never been released, but according to people in the room, Stiller's take was fast-talking, neurotic, and wildly different. Imagine Zoolander trapped in the Stone Age, all manic energy and modern anxiety. It was funny, but it wasn't right. The filmmakers wanted a performer with physical presence, emotional range, and the ability to make a caveman feel human without dialogue. They needed someone audiences would root for, not just laugh at. Enter Brendan Fraser, an unknown Canadian actor with almost no film experience. His audition proved that an unknown could carry a major studio comedy. That decision launched one of the defining careers of the decade. Number 8. The dialogue nobody wrote.
Cool, buddy. He is so greasy.
When Pauly Shore joined the cast, he didn't just say the lines, he completely reinvented them on set. Working closely with director Les Mayfield, Shore infused Stoney's dialogue with his signature MTV slang, surfer lingo, and ad-libbed catchphrases. The writers would hand him a line like, "That's cool, man." Shore would transform it into pure Pauly Shore energy. Many of the movie's most quoted lines weren't written by the screenwriters. The most famous example? Wheezing the juice.
He's a little juice.
No, wheezing the juice.
A complete improvisation that became the film's most iconic line. It perfectly captured Shore's appeal, creating slang that felt simultaneously authentic and completely ridiculous. But not every creative decision came so easily.
Do you know what this could mean for us? This could mean fame or money.
Number 7. The Terminator Easter egg that almost died. Remember when Link mimics Arnold Schwarzenegger's "I'll be back" after watching The Terminator?
I'll be back.
That moment almost never happened. Disney's legal team flagged the Terminator clip as a copyright issue and wanted it cut entirely. Their recommendation? Reshoot without it. But director Les Mayfield believed the scene was crucial to Link's character. He found an unlikely ally, Jeffrey Katzenberg, chairman of Walt Disney Studios, who personally contacted Schwarzenegger's representatives to secure permission.
I'll be back.
The line stayed and became one of the film's most memorable moments. Sometimes the most important creative battles are fought in legal departments by people willing to fight for a 10-second joke. But even with these victories, nobody believed any of it would work.
I'll be back.
Number 6. Nobody believed in it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Almost nobody making Encino Man believed it would succeed. Sean Astin has admitted he took the job mainly to fund a short film. Crew members joked that a caveman in high school story was too weird to work. Even producers weren't sure audiences would show up. During production, there was a sense of, let's just get through this and see what happens. Then opening weekend arrived. The $7 million film grossed over $11 million in 3 days. By its theatrical run's end, it had made more than $40 million, 6 times its budget. Sometimes the ideas people doubt most are exactly the ones audiences love. But success doesn't just happen, it requires strategy and risk-taking.
Boom! There he was up on 2 wheels. I never seen anything like this.
Number 5. The marketing gamble. Brendan Fraser was the lead of Encino Man. But Disney's marketing department made a bold decision. Promote the movie around Pauly Shore instead. Posters featured Shore prominently. Trailers highlighted Stoney's catchphrases. TV spots leaned into Shore's MTV persona and existing fan base. Why? Because teenage moviegoers in 1992 knew who Pauly Shore was. They watched him on MTV. Fraser might have been the better performer with the more difficult role, but Shore had built-in name recognition with the exact demographic Disney needed. The gamble worked brilliantly. Shore's fame drew teenagers into theaters, then Fraser's performance made them care about the story. But this strategy only worked because of a crucial decision made much earlier.
Okay, my friend. Try and experience.
Number 4. The shift that saved the film. Early drafts of Encino Man told a very different story. The original screenplay leaned heavily into science fiction, with serious questions about time displacement and cultural adaptation. Link's arc focused on genuine drama, the loneliness of being the last of his kind. Test readings revealed a problem. It wasn't very fun, so the filmmakers pivoted. They pulled back on science fiction, reduced the drama, and leaned into absurd comedy and physical humor. Instead of asking, how would this really work? They asked, what's the funniest version of this? That decision, embracing the absurdity rather than apologizing for it, turned a risky concept into a cult classic. But even with the right tone, one scene nearly got cut. Number 3. The ending they almost questioned. The final scene shows a female caveman emerging from the ice, Link's perfect match from his own time. It's funny, sweet, and completely over the top. During post-production, some Disney executives questioned whether this ending fit the film's tone. Was it too silly? Too convenient? Some felt the movie should end with Link staying in the modern world, accepting his old life was gone. Others argued the cavewoman twist was exactly what the movie needed. One final absurd surprise. Test audiences settled the debate. They loved it. So the sequence stayed and became one of the most talked about parts of the movie. While the ending surprises everyone, the real shock was who became a star because of it.
It's so crazy!
Number 2. The star nobody saw coming. When Brendan Fraser was cast, some Disney executives questioned the decision. Wouldn't it be safer to cast someone with proven box office success? The director stood firm, and those executives were spectacularly wrong. Fraser's performance is a masterclass in physical comedy and emotional authenticity. With minimal dialogue, he creates a fully realized character. Watch his face when Link first sees the modern world, the wonder, confusion, and overwhelming sensory overload. It's a physical, heartfelt, and surprisingly nuanced performance that won over audiences and critics. Within months, he landed School Ties. Within years, he was starring in George of the Jungle and The Mummy, becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. And it started with a caveman who couldn't speak. But Fraser's rise was only possible because of something bigger than any single creative decision. Number 1. A lightning-in-a-bottle cultural moment. Encino Man succeeded because it captured a moment that will never happen again, when MTV ruled youth culture, teen comedies dominated theaters, and outrageous premises weren't just accepted, they were celebrated. In 1992, MTV wasn't just a music channel, it was the most influential force in teenage culture. Pauly Shore was one of its most recognizable faces. His style of humor perfectly matched what teenagers wanted. Meanwhile, studios were in a golden age of high-concept comedies. Weird premises were selling points. The summer of 1992 was perfect. Encino Man opened against big action films, giving teenagers something fun and their own. The slang, music, fashion, and marketing all reflect this specific moment in early 90s America. That's why, 3 decades later, people still quote Stoney and celebrate this weird, wonderful movie. You couldn't make Encino Man today the same way, but in 1992, everything aligned perfectly. That's not just good filmmaking, that's catching lightning in a bottle. But there's one more twist that changes everything. Bonus: the fan theory that changes everything. Here's one of the wildest fan theories. What if the cave woman at the end isn't real? Think about it. Link has been ripped from his time, thrust into an alien world, and forced to adapt to a society he doesn't understand. That's deep existential trauma. According to this theory, the cave woman is a hallucination, a fantasy created by Link's mind as a coping mechanism. The theory points to details. Nobody else reacts to her appearing, it happens at night away from witnesses, and she's exactly what Link needs at exactly the right moment. Too perfect, too convenient, there's no evidence the filmmakers intended this. But that's what makes it fascinating. Even a silly comedy can spark conversations about trauma and the stories we tell ourselves to survive. A movie nobody believed in became a cultural phenomenon. A rejected role rewrote a script, an unknown actor became a star, and a frozen caveman taught us that the wildest ideas are often the ones that change everything. Encino Man succeeded not despite its absurdity, but because of it. 3 decades later, it remains a perfect time capsule of early 90s comedy. Weird, wonderful, and utterly unique. But if you think Encino Man had surprises, wait until you hear what happened on the River Wild. We're talking real-life danger, casting battles, and on-set stories that make this look tame. Click the next video and prepare to have your mind blown all over again. Until then, keep wheezing the juice, buddies. And remember, the best stories are always the ones they never expected you to know.
I'll be back.